Hi guys, so the video that I did is called A Place at the Table. It's basically about, well, their slogan is that everybody deserves a place at the table, and it's about starvation in America, in the US, and how um, like people on food stamps or WIC and programs to help support getting food to people. And a big topic in it is about how uh, food for children is often at schools or in after school programs. And I took a lot of notes, so let's see. Um, One of the main people talking is Jeff Bridges, who is the founder of the End Hunger organization. And they go in to talk about how obesity and not having a lot of food kind of play a part together, and people typically think that if you're skinny that means you're starving, but this video shows it on the opposite spectrum. So because these people are eating foods that are so high in carbs and starch that the children are actually becoming obese because they're eating things like chips, spaghettios, cookies for their snacks instead of any fruits and vegetables. And it talks about how grocery stores out in like rural areas, like a main place in the video is Mississippi, that a lot of their stores don't even carry fruits and vegetables, so they have to travel over 45 minutes to be getting these items. So they typically just buy the cheaper foods for their children so that they're eating so that they aren't hungry, and it ends up causing obesity. Another big topic in it is about the USDA and how it contributes to so many of the major farming like areas. So when it was farms owned like by families, they were more likely to get the fruits and vegetables. But because the USDA owns the big corporations, they're putting all of those subsidizing into the foods like chips and stuff so that they get more money instead of into fruits and vegetables for people to get. And I have in here, I have a lot on the after school programs as well. So it said that every 5 years they evaluate how much food they can get for school districts to feed children. And I have that it is $2.68 per child at a school. And once you eliminate everything, like for the custodial, for the staff, for the delivery of the food, it ends up being less than $1 per child on the food itself. So the quality of food they're getting is not up to a good standard, which is causing obesity also in the schools. They also had a Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act, and after all of the courts and everything, they ended up doing a $4.5 billion increase over 10 years, and with that increase it only equaled to 6 cents more per meal for a kid at school. And then they cut that money out of food stamp money. So I quoted from the movie, somebody said it's like you're pushing potatoes from one side of the plate to the other, because you're giving more money for them to have food at school, but you're taking it from food stamps, which is probably the same family, same kid, so they're getting more food at school and less at home, and it ends up being the same. They also talk a lot about food banks and food bags and how they're giving back to the community by giving them food, but by doing that they're also doing chips, cookies, things that are really high in carbs and starch. And I also quoted that they said charity is a good thing, but it doesn't end hunger. So for how long is this helping people? And a big part of it is focused around a woman who doesn't have a job, and she is getting food stamps, and then she ends up getting a full-time job, and because she makes over $24,000 in her household, she is no longer eligible, and now she can't feed her children. So she says, yeah, you feel good because you get a job and you're able to buy things, but now you have less, because with the food stamps she was able to make that stretch throughout the week to make sure her kids have food. And so they're trying to find a way to get a program that helps people get off of welfare or food stamps and get a job that supports them, but living wages aren't up to par with what people need in order to get the right kind of food. So it's a very interesting topic, and I don't know, I have a lot of mixed feelings about it because obviously we don't see a lot of that day to day, or we're just unaware of it because, like the movie says, you know, typically people think skinny associated with hunger, so you don't look at somebody necessarily and think, oh, they're probably starving if they're a little overweight. So it's a very interesting topic and very educational in terms of what quality food brings to people's lives, and I think it's very great for everybody to watch. Thank you.